to Epic Horror Fans. I'm one of the creators of Epic Horror Fans, Sexy Danny 21 Awesome. The other creator of Epic Horror Fans is AJ Punk 15. We created this channel in order to do horror reviews and also talk about the horror genre itself. So far, we've done quite a few many reviews, and we also have our own channels that you can watch too. The members are Spider Jack Angel, AJ Punk 15, JT is Reborn, and myself, Sexy Danny 21 Awesome. And I just want everyone watching Epic Horror Fans to know that our next review is going to be none other than Bates Motel. And this review will consist of the members AJ Punk 15 and JT is Reborn. And myself, Sexy Danny 21 Awesome. We're gonna review Bates Motel, and we're actually gonna review the entire season. We were wondering if we were gonna do the episode by episode, but we decided to review the entire season because there's only 8 episodes in the season. So I figured it'd be a good idea to review the season as a whole. Also, we have a couple of other things coming up on Epic Horror Fans. We're going to be doing Evil Dead Remake. That's right. Evil freaking Dead. 2013. Produced none other but Sam Raimi himself. And yeah, I will be doing that review. And I believe that Spider Jack Angel will be joining us on this review. Um, he said pretty much maybe, so I'm pretty sure he's going to show up. I'm not 100% sure, but he might. I'm hoping he does, actually. And of course, we will have JT is Reborn and AJ Punk 15, and we're going to have a special guest. That's my take. He's going to be a special guest on our channel for the Evil Dead remake, and I can't wait to do that review. The movie is coming out in April. Bates Motel, the TV series premieres March 18th. So yeah, I can't wait to review that. Yeah, Bates Motel. So, it was my idea that we review Bates Motel because to me, Norman Bates isn't just a character. He's a horror icon like Hannibal, Freddy, Jason. And to have a TV series actually about him is really cool. There was another TV series about Bates Motel, but I find this one really interesting because it's exploring uh, new turf basically. The most interesting thing about the new series is Norman Bates is going to be played by the kid from the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which I think is absolutely amazing. He's a fantastic actor, of course. And it looks really interesting. I mean, uh, as a whole, I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be a good, television show, basically. Um, I find it interesting that Norman Bates' mom in the TV show, um, you know, Norman Bates in the television show is played by Freddie Highmore. You might also recognize him from August Rush, and another movie you might recognize him from would be Finding Neverland. And he's just the most sweet, most adorable kid ever in Finding Neverland. I mean, his performance in that movie, like I almost cried during that movie. I mean, it was pretty emotional. So to have him playing Norman Bates, I was like, oh hell yes, he's the perfect person to play Norman Bates because you got to remember that the audience, in a way, kind of sympathizes for uh for the character of Norman Bates. I remember when I watched the original Psycho movie, I didn't really hate Norman Bates. I kind of felt sorry for him because you had this feeling that, maybe it's his mom that really messed him up to get, where he is right now, basically. And you know that it's really in his mind and he's crazy kind of thing. He's a kind of a sympathetic character. He's not really like Hannibal Lecter. He's a kind of a split personality disorder kind of character, and I think that's why the audience sympathizes with him more than, let's say, Hannibal Lecter or Freddy or Jason. You don't really sympathize with those characters, but with Norman Bates, you actually sympathize with him. So to have an actor like Freddie Highmore, play Norman Bates is going to be just amazing. I mean, he was originally played by Anthony Perkins, which is a fantastic actor, by the way. I mean, don't get me wrong, he is the perfect Norman Bates. But to have Freddie Highmore play a younger version of Norman Bates is what I find really interesting about this TV series. And I like the direction they're going. They're not trying to remake it. Like it's not like the remake that came out a couple of years ago that wasn't that great, and it was just like a shot per shot remake, and it was pretty terrible. I think it's the worst remake ever made, actually. But what I find interesting about this show, Bates Motel, is they're taking it in a new direction. They're not trying to remake Psycho. They're not trying to recreate the 60s, which I love because um, I think we have a little bit too much, um, like, I don't know, recreations of, like, uh, I'm glad that it doesn't take place in the 60s, basically, because I think that would ruin the original movie, because that would be kind of like they're remaking the original. So to have them have the movie take place in modern time is what I find interesting about this movie because you got Norman Bates in modern day in the 21st century. And that's really what I find most interesting about Bates Motel. So I can't wait to watch this television series. I know Adam and Sean, my friends on Epic Horror Fans, are also really excited about it. JT is Reborn, AJ Punk 15. Um, they're really excited about it, and so am I. And I like the fact that they're making Norman Bates' mom actually a younger person. She's not like a really old person. I mean, she's older, but at the same time, you kind of get that a different feeling from this. Where and in the original Psycho, you kind of viewed her as an older woman, but you have to realize that Norman Bates' mom in the beginning was a very young, beautiful woman. And as Norman Bates perhaps got older, she aged. And I don't really know what kind of direction they're going in this reboot slash remake. I don't know how long his mom is gonna live. I I don't know what's gonna happen basically, and I'm pretty much just guessing. But I like that they kind of re-envision, how young his mom would be because if Norman Bates, was living with his mom for a really long time, when he got older, then she would have been an old woman, right? But when he was young, she would have been a younger woman. So I kind of like how they're going with the continuity there, basically. And I don't know what's gonna happen to his mom or what's gonna happen in the show, but I'm excited, and I can't wait to see what directions this show takes, basically. And I'm really excited for it. And that's going to be the next review on Epic Horror Fans, and then the Evil Dead remake. So everybody, please stay tuned and have a fantastic night. And yeah, and my good friend JT is Reborn is also doing some reviews on here called Horror of the Week. So catch that and have an awesome night, everyone.